Hello, everybody, wherever you may be, from coast to coast and sea to shining sea. Welcome back to Ham Radio Live, a show about radio that's daily for people who love radio. Today, the Icom 2730, huge pileup from the Middle East. We'll celebrate someone from the channel and your comments worldwide. Welcome back.
Debbie just hit the wall. She never had it all. One Prozac a day. Husband's a CPA. Her dreams went out the door when she turned 24. Only been with one man. What happened to her plan? She was gonna be an actress. She was gonna be a star. She was gonna shake her ass on the hood of Whitesnake's car. Her yellow SUV is now the enemy. Looks at her average life and nothing has been alright since Bruce Springsteen, Madonna, way before Nirvana. There was U2 and Blondie, and music still on MTV. Her two kids in high school, they tell her that she's uncool, cause she's still preoccupied with 1985.
Actually done in 2004, Bowling for Soup. 1985. Yeah, we thought we'd play it, have some fun today on a Tuesday. Why not? Should be a fun show today. We're going to take a look at a VHF UHF rig. Haven't done that as a first timer yet. Plus, a gigantic pileup. If you heard it last night on 20 meters, we'll show you. And also why you should be on 20 after dark. Plus, we're going to do a Tell Me Something Good Tuesday. Bring your good comments. We'll play them on the show. From around the world, wherever you may be, away we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Shaq and Ori. It's great to see you. Happy Tuesday. Sorry I'm a little late today. Physical therapy, first one since back surgery. And it's funny because, like, they give you paperwork to fill out. And, they send them to you. I filled them out. And then I get there. I have 4 more papers to fill out. Why didn't you just send these to me too? Well, we did, sir. They were in the envelope. No, they weren't. There were three in the envelope. I asked my wife when I got home, because she had to bring the envelope to the physical therapist, right? Because, of course, I'm Larry and I forget things. And so I went and I forgot the doggone thing at home. So, my name's Larry.
My name is Larry.
Yeah, so I forgot it. And she brings it over. And sure enough, I asked her when I got home, I said, how many papers were in that? She says 3. That's what I thought too. I thought I was right, and I was. So anyway, it just took forever today. So I'm sorry that I'm a little bit later than I'd hoped for today. Keep in mind, no show tomorrow. We'll come back Thursday, have another show, and we'll have some fun. We'd like to help you get amateur radio. That's the main point. Please, if you want your radio license, now is it's the perfect time to do so. And the reason why is because on the high frequency bands, we work on sunspots. It sounds weird, but it's true. The more sunspots we have, the better. And the sun goes through cycles of about every 11 years, and we go to a peak of sunspots, and then we go down to a minimum of sunspots. We're on the part now where we're going up to the peak, and I think this is going to be a very big peak. I really do. If you want to get your license, please, now is the time to do it. Contact a large radio club like the American Radio Relay League. They can be found at www.arrl.org. Please hit the contact us bar. Let them know you want to be an amateur and where you're located in the world. They'll send you an amateur radio club that's close to you to help you get licensed. www.arrl.org. If you're here from the WRMI CQ Calling Show, want to welcome, put up a coffee and sit down and enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy it today. Our CQ Ham Radio Live at Gmail, still a good address. If you want to reach out to me regarding questions or comments regarding the show, we do have a Discord channel called Ham-Radio-Live. It's great to have you today. Today is going to be a Tell Me Something Good Tuesday, which means, tell me something good that's going on in your life or something good in your radio life.
Tell me something good.
And we will make it part of today's show. So let's welcome some people. Why not? We haven't done it yesterday. We didn't do the yesterday show. And here's what happened. And again, this is on my side. Okay, so the comments on my side come up, right? And it may seem like this happened. He comes from an unknown location, and it's very, very clandestine. I'm not sure if it's a cave maybe somewhere. It might be just an old log cabin. Not sure. But he is a ham, and he is brilliant at what he does. He can take a paper bag, some bubble gum, and a Band-Aid and make an amateur radio out of it. The Smoking Ape comes in second. Charlie from Red Summit, if you didn't make, you're the first one to come in the show today. Congratulations. I am very happy for you. It was just literally by a nose today. So for Chuck in Arizona, you got it. Good job, buddy. Yep. Just that quick. No kidding. On my end, it was Chuck, then Ape. Just bang, bang. Oh, my gosh. I was like, oh, Ape, I love you. You know I do. You know I do. As I'm moving the script down, as you can see. Yeah. Anyways, good to see you guys. And thank you, Ape, for coming. Thanks also, Charlie. I hope you had a great time there in Dayton. Sounds like it was a good time. Sounds like everybody had a great time there. And truly, man, everything I saw, wow, sounds like a lot of people were there too. Man. Andy, welcome. Good evening from the UK. Mike 7, Charlie, Union November. It's good to have you. Rob Q from Los Angeles. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know if I'm model, but I try. Web, here we go. WECB 640 from Boston, Massachusetts. It's a great day when you're here. Thanks for joining the show. Always a pleasure. Eamon Azar joins us too. November 9, Sierra Echo Sierra. Kevin is here from Iowa. His call sign Kilo Zero, Kilo Lima Bravo. Winan shows up, and ladies and gentlemen, he comes from a wonderful country called Africa. Welcome, Winan. Good to have you. As always. As always. Chris joins us from the UK, 2 Echo Zero, Union Kilo Hotel. Chris, good evening to you there in the UK. It's always a pleasure. Good evening to you too, Winan. Great to have you. Rob from Great Lakes Reliance, listening at work. Shh, we won't tell anybody. We won't tell anybody. Chris, already with something good.
Tell me something good.
Today on my 60, 120 meters, I worked UK to Poland on 5 watts with a telescopic aerial and no counterpoise. That's well done. Thank you, Chris. Awesome, man. That's good. Andy New from UK. Tell me something good. Larry was early and I ordered a spare loop for my Wonder Woman.
Tell me something good.
I was late, actually. You know, and the guy asked me, he said, okay, so why, do you have something going on, that you have to leave for? Yes, I do. What time do you leave? I said, I have to leave by 1:15. And so I get out of there at 1:30. So again, I'm sorry. That was like 30 minutes ago. So I raced home, got here, and here we are. So hopefully we'll have a good show today. Jay, and I don't want to say it wrong. I hope I don't. Rashim, I believe it's Rashim. Kilo Bravo 1 Oscar from the state of Connecticut. First timer and welcome. Good to meet you. Thanks for coming today. It's a joy to meet you. Thank you. Andy, Zygu has released details of their new G106 QRP transceiver. That's cool. That's cool. They make affordable radios. They do. Rob, November 7, Tango Tango Alpha. I'd like to welcome you from the beautiful state of Arizona. And we've got Bobo. Welcome, Bobo. S55 Bravo Golf 73. Good to see you, mate. What a treat. Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Let's get in the weather. Powered by Icom. Icom for the love of ham radio. Here's your 818. It's a great day to be on the radio, whether you're shortwave or ham. Using the HF bands, this is really some good sunspot numbers. Kind of a little bit of the backside of the sun, not a whole lot. You just kind of see where that crescent is, east limb. That's as far as you see of the backside. But there is a sunspot region coming in that red square, so you can see some stuff coming our way. Now, coronal hole map 85 and 84 are both kind of facing Earth, and right now we aren't getting any activity from these. Our solar wind hasn't picked up, so we don't have a whole lot of impact from either one of these coronal holes right now. Magnetosphere fusion, the view of the sun, here is where we've got some news for you, okay? 3014, which has been a gigantic player in making our highest SFI and highest solar sunspot number of solar cycle 25. In fact, since the late 1990s, it's been that long, is now starting to slide off the other end of the sun. Still there, still making some impact on us though. 3016 and 17 still prevalent. 3019 looks good. 3020, of course, 3021. We've got another one coming, and we're going to see some declining SFI numbers. It's just the way things are when you start to lose a big sunspot region like 3014. So I don't think we're going to drop into the double digits. We'll still be in triple digits. The solar flare detections last 3 days. Good conditions, 8 sunspot regions facing Earth right now. No coronal mass ejections, no solar flares lately. It's been pretty quiet in the sun. K-index, look at this, nice and quiet. So good conditions for you tonight on 160 on 80, on 40, on 60 meters. Going to be nice conditions for you to work your radio. Next 3 days should be quiet too. K2s, K2 to 3 maybe on Thursday, but still good quiet conditions. Solar indices, SFI is down 7 to 158. Solar sunspot number 132. And these are great numbers, guys. These are not bad numbers whatsoever. In fact, these numbers are ahead of what they expected solar cycle 25 to end at. We're still there. We're in great shape. Area numbers up 10 to 1,050. Earlier, we'll take a look at that QRZ throughout the day. Earlier this morning at 1432, and these numbers for SFI and solar the sunspot number, they all stay the same. We're not going to change that, but we're looking at is the BZ latitude. We see here at 1432, it was at 2.7 positive. Then at 1802, it is a 0.9 positive. So it's starting to go south again. See, now coming up at 2033, it's a minus 1.2. The good news, solar wind isn't really heavy right now. So we do have decent conditions, but we might have some QS Baker on the bands today because of this. 6-meter E-skip is open today. EME degree for people that like to bounce signals off the moon looks good as well. 80-40 meters for daytime is poor, and that's because that negative BZ. It's just what happens. Also, take a look at this. This is kind of interesting. The Kilo Charlie 2 golf map, as it's evolved throughout the day, this is about late afternoon, about 3 p.m. in the UK. So you're taking a look at 10 meters in the southern rim there of Europe. You see that? 31 in Trinidad, 31 in Spain, 30 in the southern part of Italy. And then as you head north, you're in the 21, 23, 24 megs. I mean, so, you're not getting 10 meters yet. But as the day progressed, take a look at the numbers. Now, you're still on 30 meters in Spain, 30 megahertz in Spain, still at 10 meters as well in Italy. And if you're on the UK right now, in the UK, 25 megahertz, 26 in France, 25 in Germany, these still support, 15 and 12 meters. So, we're getting better conditions heading north, all right? Africa, that's where everything gets really good towards the middle part on 10 meters. And as you head south into about Cape Town, you're on single digits, so right about 40 meters. Heading towards the Far East, in Japan, 16 out of Tokyo. In Australia, 19 megahertz in Melbourne, 13 in Victoria, and about 12 in Perth. Here in the North American continent, 16 megahertz up near Fairbanks, right there at the U.S.-Canadian border, right about 21 megahertz, so 15 meters should work good, both in Canada as well as the U.S. Heading south, you start to get towards Utah, 24 megahertz. Southern California here is at 22 megahertz. And then in South Texas, near Brownsville, 30 megahertz. And in New Orleans, beautiful New Orleans, 24 megahertz. Beautiful South America conditions. 41 megahertz in northern Brazil. As you head towards Uruguay, 25, but 34 even in the center there near Argentina. Some great conditions today to use your amateur radio. Solar cycle 25, this is where we're at. We're definitely way ahead of schedule and looking good for a very good solar cycle. Now's the time to get that license or license upgrade. Your amateur radio forecast for today for ham and shortwave. Declining SFIs the next few days. They're going to bounce around. I think we're going to be between 140 and 150 within the next 3 days. So 140 to 150 is not bad. Also, no lower noise floors, which is great for working nighttime, 40, 80, 160. Those will be lowers today. So expect signal noise level to be S0 to S1. Great conditions there. 10 meters is still heading north. It's just crawling that way. It doesn't seem fast enough, but it's getting there. Hang in there, guys. Voice bands in the north, 20, 17, 15, 12, and some 10 meters in the north. Equatorial latitudes and the south will have it all, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10. Data modes will be 30 to 10 meters in all latitudes. Your nighttime ham bands are going to be beautiful tonight. Nighttime 160, 80, 75, 60, 40, 30. Best DX, maximum usable frequency at gray line. Then work your way down as you get to 20 and 40. And really right now, the way the SFIs are, and I found it last night, guys, 20 meters is open almost all night long right now. And there is some great DX there to be had. Shortwave bands today, 31, 25, 22 in the 19 meter band. Nighttime shortwave, 120, 90, 75, and 60, 49, 41, 31, 25, 22, and the 19-meter band. I think you'll hear it nearly all night long in places around the Northern Hemisphere tonight, so great conditions for you to turn on your radio. I give it today a 10, even though we went negative BZ. When you've got that high of an SFI, and you've got a good solar number, and you don't have high solar wind, you've got good conditions. You really do. I don't expect a whole lot of QS Baker today. I think you're going to make great calls. The fact 10 meters isn't as far north as Sweden and Norway or Great Britain yet is just one of those things, guys. It'll get there, and the conditions will improve. There's your weather for today and tomorrow and Thursday. Happy Tuesday, Wednesday, west of the Dateline. Catching up with your comments, and then we'll get into some fun stuff today. An interesting pileup from the Middle East came in last night at 20 meters, and it was big. It was a very big pileup. We'll talk about how rare that DX really is, and we'll talk about how, we'll show the ham who did it, and then we'll actually let you hear the pileup. It's, in a way, it made me feel, I told someone on the Discord channel, I felt a little embarrassed being an amateur from the U.S. because the U.S. amateurs can be so aggressive. I know people talk about other countries doing that, right? But I just was embarrassed to be a U.S. amateur last night for one of the first times ever. And it was just because of how people were repeating their call signs over and over and over and over again. It was awful. It was just awful. There was a guy that kept doing it. He'd give part of his call sign then over and over again. You'll hear it. It's one of those things. But as I listened for over an hour to this thing. I tried to make the call, didn't make it, but I tried. But it was just one of those things. It was just an amazing thing to listen to, and unfortunately kind of frustrating too, to say, just give your call sign once. Let's let him make the call, because in the middle of the call, they're still giving their call signs. That's why. Graham is here. That's continent number 3. Victor Kilo 3, Golf Echo Kilo. Welcome, Graham. Nice to see you. Happy Wednesday your way. Good morning to you. Andy New says 40 was very up and down earlier today. Lots of noise in QS Baker. Yeah. Well, it is a lot of it will depend on your antenna. A lot of it will depend on antenna, but I think we'll have less QS Baker today than normal. Cliff Bolts, welcome. Virginia's here. Whiskey Delta 4 Oscar Bravo Papa. Rob in Michigan heard Belgium, New Zealand, and 2 stations in France on 20 at 3 a.m. yesterday, and there it is. There it is. There it is. If you haven't done it, you need to do it. Just keep on your radio. If you're a late night owl, or you just, you wake up and you can't sleep, go to your amateur radio. It'll blow your mind what's on 20 meters. I'm serious. It'll blow your mind. We'll have a segment on it. I'll show you from just about midnight my time last night. I can't stay awake too long. I'm kind of a wimp there. DiBiase, welcome. Kilo Charlie 1 Papa Sierra Kilo, welcome. Spike is here from Montana. All fish running hot, straight, and normal. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Dragon Master 360, welcome back to the show. Always a pleasure. So Andy Cowley 2 Echo 0 Romeo Echo Echo. Andy do. Carlos at Wonder Wand has great customer service. That's good. Hi Dirk, Whiskey 9 Romeo Delta Yankee. Nice to see you, buddy. Happy Tuesday. We made it through the Hamvention weekend and we're still standing, right, mate? You really worked hard. It's good. Smoking Ape, that BZ lat will get you every time. Yeah. It's, if it continues to go south from where it is now, and right now it's not like terribly bad. If it gets to be like 4 or more, you get a lot of QS Baker. But right now, I think we're late enough for the day that I think we're going to be okay with it. But yeah, you'll tend to get some more fade for sure. Spike Radio Man, Smoking Ape, want to come visit, send directions. That's awesome. Yeah, and a 10, because you know what? Think about this. This is what I was thinking today, Charlie, when I put this together, and this is why it's a 10. All right. When this solar cycle came together, okay, this is what progressions were. Right. This is what the forecast was. Remember, in the red. All right. We're in the early part of this cycle. This cycle began at the end of 2019. All right. So right now, that would put us not even 3 years into it. And take a look at the lower one. That's the SFI. All right. Look at where it's at. it's already at the top, basically, of where that peak is. It's just amazing what's happening. So, it's so easy to see these solar numbers drop from like 180 where it was last week and come down to where it is today, but still where we're at today is not bad, 158, solar number of 132. Those are numbers we would have killed to have considering the forecasting for solar cycle 25. So a good day to work on your radio. Truly is, guys. DiBiasio was on 20 all day. It's better now. 10 was dead. Yeah, 10 is getting tough to find, but you'll get there. It'll get there. And by the way, nice comment here from Dirk for Charlie. Good fun videos over the weekend. Charlie, you knocked out of the park. Well done. You did. And see, Ape and Jim stayed behind while T.O. had fun in Hamvention. And they held the fort down at Coffee and Ham Radios too. So good luck, good love to them. Hi, Will. Nice to see you from Wisconsin. Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India Mike. And Charlie's final wrap-up tonight. Look for it on his channel, Red Summit RF. That'll be nice. Charlie, keep up the great work. WECB 640, right, Larry? No patience. And it's just, when you see the video and you hear it, it'll all make sense. It's like, oh, no. There's Andy waiting for high tide. Alpha Zero Whiskey X-ray. Hopefully there's not a boat that's on low tide like on a sandbar. That would be bad. Mike, welcome. Kilo Golf 2 Mike coming from Jacksonville. Hi, all. I wonder if it was the same person I was trying to get. Other hams were so inconsiderate and kept saying their call signs over and over again, made it very difficult. It might be. It could be, Mike. It was really embarrassing. And I wasn't hearing, to be fair, I listened to this, and you're going to see it. You'll see and hear it from a UK SDR, right? So this one's coming from England. And so you can hear the U.S. stations. And I know there's lots of talk about other countries in Europe and Asia who do, these things that people don't like. But I just felt it was really bad. I felt, gosh, the guy, he could have made almost twice as many calls if people would have just done it once and let him make the decision of who he's going to work. That's all. Indy, welcome. Good day, Larry, boys and girls. Victor Kilo 2 X-Ray Bravo. Good on you, mate. Welcome. You always make me smile, Indy. Welcome. Same with Kevin from the Emerald Isle of Ireland. Good evening to you. Tommy LaBouffe, welcome. Kilo 4 Victor Tango Echo. What a great group we have today. Really do. Spike, so does a propagation chart on QRZ reflect the whole globe or just a particular region? It reflects over to Colorado. Yeah, it's from their research station there. It's a good question. That's a good question. All right, let's get in that segment. So last night, and let me just kind of set the stage, right? Here was the ham that did is Rafiq Faramawi, and he's from Amman, Jordan. His call sign, Juliet Yankee 4 Charlie India. So he's from Jordan in the Middle East. You can see what he's done. He's really good at what he's got. He's got directional antennas. He's got, a brand new FTDX 10, and he was literally putting it in its paces for the first time. That's what he was on the air to do. And he wanted to see how well it would work with his equipment. That's what last night was about. Look what he's done. He's done Master of Europe, Master of North America, World Radio Friendship, U.S. Counties from Jordan. Yep. Grid Squares, Master of Asia, Master of South America, USA all 50 states, Continents of the World, and DX100. He's done basically everything. Now, last night, and this would have been right about 12:30 UK time, this pileup was going on at 20 meters. I'll let you decide for yourself. The pileup went on and on and on, and this is just a portion of it. But again, this is Juliet Yankee 4 Charlie India, and this is an amazing amount of calls he's hearing and still able to make the call to somebody in this jumbled mess. Take a listen.
Any Pacific area, JY4 Charlie Italy, any text outside stateside, outside Europe, any Caribbean, any ZLs, any VKs in there? Kilo Papa 4 Papa Kilo. Okay, there is a Victor Kilo 2, Victoria Kilowatt 2, Victor Kilo 2 again. Okay, is that a Victor Kilo 2 Zulu Hotel? 59, and please correct my call sign. It's a Juliet Yankee, negative on Juliet uniform. It's a Juliet Yankee 4 Charlie India, Roger. Okay, QSL, you 57, 5 and 7 on the long path, QSL. See you again. This is Jordan, Juliet Yankee 4 Charlie India. Listening for ZLs and VK on the long path. Any ZLs, any VKs in there?
Victor Kilo 7, Mike Juliet Hotel. Whiskey 4, Mike Juliet Hotel. Whiskey 4, Mike Juliet Hotel. Victor Kilo.
Just give me 1 second. It's a long path. I already passed the gray line, so it's a good chance to give the guys the chance to contact Jordan. Any VKs, any ZLs in there? Appreciate it.
Victor Kilo 7, Radio Germany.
Okay, Victor Kilo 7, Radio Germany, correct?
Yes, VK7RG, Rod, near Hobart, Tasmania Island, over.
Okay, yes, Rod, very good. You're 55, 5 and 5 in the clear, Roger?
Yeah, you're 57, mate, and listen out, you've got some Idiot Lima calling you as well. A very good afternoon from Tasmania, mate, and lovely to hear you on the air. My great pleasure. Many thanks for taking my call, and many people calling, over.
Thank you, sir. Take care, and best 73s. VK7 Radio Germany, Japan Yankee 4 Charlie India 73.
Kilo 1, November 4.
Any more ZLs, any VKs, any ZLs, any VKs in there? Okay, there is a 9 Zulu 4 in there, November Zanzibar 4, Norway Zulu 4 again. 9 Zulu 4 again.
Hear that?
Nobody's listening.
Hear that? He just said, everyone's trying all at once. He's going to give up. That's what he said. And then, of course, you hear the gentleman say what he said. I'm going to replay that segment. Listen carefully. You're going to hear that segment come from a ham, and then you're going to hear the ham making the call from Jordan echo it. Listen.
Zulu 4 again. 9 Zulu 4 again. Nobody's listening. 9 Zulu 4, 9 Zanzibar 4, go ahead. Okay, I got you. 9 Zulu 4, Sierra Bravo. 55 in the clear, 55 in the clear. My report? Okay, KSL, thank you for the 59. Take care. See you again. 9 Zanzibar 4, Zulu Bravo, Japan Yankee 4, Charlie India in the clear. QRZ, anybody, anyone?
November 4, Papa. Oscar Hotel 5, Echo, Papa. India, Sierra. Oscar Henry 5, Echo, Papa. November, Papa, 0, Radio Kilowatt.
Yeah, okay, do I have you correct as India Zulu 7, Bravo, Japan Sierra, correct?
November, Papa 3 Tango.
Okay, that's Japan Sugar, very good. 59 plus QSL. Again, Japan Yankee 4, Charlie India in the clear. QRZ.
Whiskey 2, November, Papa, Romeo. Hotel 5, Echo, Papa.
Whiskey 2, Norway Pacific, go ahead.
Roger, Roger. Whiskey 2, November, Papa, Romeo.
2, Zulu Echo. November Papa Radio, okay, Whiskey 2. Okay, Whiskey 2, November Papa Radio.
You get it. You get it. That's enough. So, I mean, I've got like 30 minutes of it. And, you know, when I recorded it again from here, and I've got a video segment from here, but I thought, no, it's just too much time to spend on it. There were people just going over and over 5 times at times, giving their call sign during the time he's talking to another station. It was just unbelievable. And I got Aben, I got your comment here, and I do want to post it because I like to post what we can here. He says he's definitely one of the worst radio operators worldwide. He won't take any calls from 4x4 or 4 Zulu 1 stations. He won't allow Jordanians to even apply for a ham radio license. I don't know the fact on that. I don't know that part. But I know that he did say during the run that was going on last night, someone local, close to him was trying to make the call. And he said, I'm trying to make DX calls. I can work you daytime anytime. And that was it. He left it at that. So, you could have the point there. I don't know. But, the point was, this is who it was who was making the calls. It was Juliet Yankee for Charlie India. Listen on 20 meters tonight. You might find DXCC-wise. Here's the club log. And keep in mind, these are about 360 of the most difficult places to work on Earth. And many of them are uninhabited islands, okay? Like this year in November, number 2 and number 3, Beauvais and Crozet Island both are going to be on at the same time, November, December this year. So, I believe I said Beauvais wrong. I've been saying it wrong for a long time. I think it's called Beauvais Island. So Beauvais Island and Crozet, both are going to be on at the same time. So number 2 and 3 this winter and fall. That's going to be kind of cool, right? But other places, Scarborough Reef and San Felix Islands and Pradas Island, all of these places, except for North Korea, are uninhabited places on Earth. So a lot of the top ones on Club Log are places where people, humans do not live. ZL9, that's number 21, New Zealand subantarctic islands, right? I mean, not many people are living there, right? So these are places that are more difficult to even navigate to. To get to Jordan, you go all the way to 196. That's Juliet Yankee. So 196 out of 360 plus, that is where you'll find Jordan in the list for DXCC. Also, do want to give a little love to Bill Jourdain, Whiskey 1 Zulu Yankee. If you're part of his newsletter, and he has a great newsletter where he helps people with antenna questions, building phased array verticals, or you can even, help you build a beverage antenna. This is his latest article, Chapter 7, How to Calculate Transmission Line Lengths in Degrees. And this would be for your delay of your phasing antenna, so you can build it that way. Wonderful article. I want to give Bill some love on that. Thank you for sending that to me. Chapter 7, Bill, Whiskey 1 Zulu Yankee, thanks. That's great stuff. Yeah, that's great. And for him, look, I mean, I love this hobby, I really do. But when you're working a DXCC like in Jordan, let's say, just use this for an example. I mean, everybody should have the same right to contact the station, right? Because there's people that have towers with directionals. Good for you, great, okay. But there's a lot of us using wires and verticals, and we don't have the space or the money to do that. And good on you, mate, if you can do that. That's wonderful. Nothing against that. But try and give the little guy a chance too. That's my point. Give one call and then let everybody get one call. It would be so much easier, because then when the guy actually picks a call, he can have a QSO with the guy. One of the final calls he made last night was really cool. It was made to San Diego, and it was made to a guy who was actually part of a Jordanian team that came down to San Diego from San Diego and other parts of the country to Jordan, and they were there to do ham radio from Jordan. And it was when King Hussein was in charge, and he told a little bit of the story then. And it was really cool to hear that story. And unfortunately, some ham decided to get on on his microphone and curse the guy out, call him an old man. That was unfortunate, but it was an interesting story. And at the end of that, what Farik said was really cool. Rafiq said at the end of that, he said, thank you for sharing that story tonight. He said, that brings back memories to me, and I'll treasure that tonight. This made it worth it. That was a neat way to end. He went QRT right after that. So that was what happened last night on 20. And listen again tonight. Really, turn your radio on. You'll be surprised. Again, that SDR was from England, from Staffordshire, England, and it just picked up all the action. It was quite interesting to listen to. All right, we've been featuring, first-time radios for amateurs for a few weeks now. And We've not talked about a VHF, UHF rig yet. We just talked about HF rigs. But when you get into like a technician license, and even in the UK, your foundation license, right? In Canada, you get your foundation license there, your beginning license, and maybe you don't pass with honors, for example, or you do. You can use some VHF, UHF. And what's neat about it is there's lots more power in a little, mobile unit than there would be maybe in a handheld. I am not saying handhelds are bad. Please don't think that. That's not it at all. You know me better than that. But let's take a look at one of those VHF, UHF rigs. This is a first look at the Icom 2730 on the channel. I'd like to be able to share it with you, and I'll have the producer of this video, his video YouTube channel, in the description section below, and a link to his channel. I'd like to see if you'd subscribe to him to help him out.
Hello, and welcome to the 741 channel. Today, we're going to take a look at this Icom 2730 ham radio transceiver that's on the bench behind me. Before I get started with the video, I just want to mention that this video is not intended to take the place of the Icom instruction manual that comes with the radio. So the Icom 2730 is a dual band ham radio transceiver with a detachable face, or maybe more accurately, detached face. In order to mount this to the radio, you have to buy a separate bracket from Icom. Now, I didn't buy the attachment hardware to mount the faceplate to the radio because I'm going to mount this in my Chevy Suburban at some point. The faceplate's going to go somewhere on the dashboard, and the radio body is going to go somewhere else in the vehicle. Now, because there's no bracket, Icom does supply the cable to connect the faceplate to the radio body. Icom also supplies the HM207 microphone with the radio, and we'll take a look at this in more detail later in the video. So I recommend taking a look at the instruction manual for the exact dimensions of the radio, but for now I'm just going to give some quick estimates for size, just so you can kind of see it here on the screen. The width of the control head is about 5 3/4 inches. The overall thickness of the head, including the tuning knob, is about 1.5 inches. The overall height of the control head is just shy of 2 inches. Overall width of the radio body is about 5 7/8 inches. The depth of the radio, including the cooling fan on the back, is about 7 inches. And the thickness of the radio body looks to be about 1.5 inches. So looking at the radio body, there's a jack here for the control cable to go to the control head. And then over here, there's a microphone jack in case you want to plug the microphone directly into the radio body. So in the case, on the sides and on the top, there's some vents for airflow. And then over here is where the internal speaker is mounted. On the back of the radio, the SO239 connector for the antenna is here. There's a fairly large cooling fan here, obviously. So over here are two 3.5mm jacks for independent external speakers. And these also double as programming ports for the optional programming cable. And then over here is the power cord pigtail, and it comes standard with a T-style connector. Icom also supplies a double fused power cord with a mating T connector. So the front of the control head obviously has all the radio controls and main display, which we'll talk about in depth later in the video. On the back of the control head, there's two threaded brass inserts that will accept metric 2.6x5 screws. Now these, of course, can be used with the various optional mounting brackets that Icom sells to go along with this radio. Over here on the corner is the connection for the control cable to the radio body. And then over here on the side of the control head is another microphone jack. So again, the microphone can be plugged into either the control head or the radio body. The Icom 2730 is an analog dual bander. There's no D-Star or other digital modes available in this radio. And this radio is set up so that it can receive two different frequencies at the same time. And the two frequencies can both be VHF, UHF, or one on VHF and one on UHF, like I show here. Now the radio also works on full duplex, and it can transmit on the VHF and receive on UHF at the same time, or vice versa. So the control panel is laid out so there are separate controls for each receiver, and the controls and functions here in the middle are common to both sides of the radio. Starting off in the top corners, a short press of the main button will toggle the main receiver between the two sides. So right now, the left side is set up as the main receiver. If I push this button, you can see the main icon lights up, and now it's over on this side. If I long press the button, I can activate the band feature. Now I can use the tuning dial to cycle between the 2-meter band, the 70cm ham band, or the air band. This radio doesn't transmit on the air band, of course, but it does receive air band in AM mode. Short pressing this button allows me to tune the receiver by the megahertz register. Long pressing this button activates the scan function. Now I can use the tuning control to cycle between the scan modes. I'm going to choose ham, and then I'll short press the button again to start the scan. Short pressing the MR button toggles the radio between memory mode and weather band mode. If I want to go back to VFO mode, I short press the V/megahertz button. Long pressing this button will put the radio into call channel mode. And now I can use the tuning dial to tune between the two calling channels, 0 and 1. To get back to memory mode, I can short press the MR button or back into VFO mode by short pressing the V/megahertz button. So down here is a squelch knob, so I can turn the squelch all the way off and listen to the background static if I want to, or I can just increase that just enough to cut that out. This, of course, is the tuning dial, and I can use this to tune around in VFO mode, or in memory mode, I can toggle between the memory channels. This here, of course, is the volume.
And I'll have his link to the description. I try and show about 5 minutes of these videos, and sometimes go a little longer than that. So we're trying to make little changes to the channel a little bit so that we can keep it close to an hour and talk radio and have some fun. I'll have 741 radio channel for you in the description section. Again, please subscribe if you'd like to. It helps him out on YouTube, and I want to thank him. That was a very well described video. When you go, button or knob by button or knob on the radio all the way through, it's really, really good. Let's look real quick at the 2730. Here's what it looks like. Again, there's that detachable face again. Okay, specifications on it. You can see it. It's kind of like, most VHF UHFs. TX 144 to 148 megahertz, 430 to 450 megahertz. Guaranteed range. Take a look there. It guarantees 144 to 148 and 430 to 450 megahertz. It also has F2D mode and F3E mode, and the type of emissions listed there, of course. Again, this is on the Icom 2730. Also, transmitter, output power 13.8 volts DC, 50 watts. It's going to be for your 2 meter band. So 50 watts there. The TPE version, which is Europe's version, 25 watts. And then you've got 15 watts and then 5 watts. So it has 3 different power levels. It's got high, medium, and low power. And on the 77 band, it is going to be just a little bit lower power than that. So if you run down a little bit longer receiver information, there you go for both bands. Sensitivity is listed. Also receiver sensitivity listed there as well for 2 meters, as well as 23/7s and the 77 meter band, And then supplied accessories comes with a hand microphone, the HM207, which has got the buttons on it so you can adjust everything from the microphone. Also the controller cable, DC power cable, microphone hanger and spare fuses, and the MBA-5 is on the deluxe version only. Prices right now at Ham Radio Outlet, it's sale priced after the manufacturer rebate at $299.95 plus tax. So that's the Icom 2730. Maybe a radio for you if you're interested in getting into amateur radio and starting on the VHF, UHF bands. And by the way, a little show note, we're going to be having Ham Radio DX. Hayden is coming to share a show with us. That's going to be fun. That's going to be coming up, and I'll give you the dates on it. It's going to be, I think, the 24th of June here in the States, 25th there in Australia. From Ham Radio DX, Hayden's going to join us, and we'll talk a lot about VHF, UHF, plus some repeater work as well. So that should be fun. All right, let's take a look at a viewer from the channel who sent me a wonderful email this week. In fact, I got it yesterday. It was one of those emails I was going to take the whole day off from YouTube and radio work, but when I received it, I couldn't help but respond because it was so well written. Guy Driver out of Brooksville, Florida. Guy, thank you. And if you look carefully, you'll notice that's a Z Sierra call sign. He does have a license out of South Africa, but he also does have the ability to transmit here. Let's take a look a little bit at his QRZ page, and why don't we just have a little party with him, okay? So let's take a look at it. This is some nice pictures. There's Guy, and he wrote me a beautiful letter. He's basically telling me about setting up his station. He's finally out of an HOA. He's got himself some land, a tower, a nice radio, an amplifier, and he's got a good tuner. He's got a nice little setup he's building there in Florida. Here's his QRZ page. It says, please take note that my call sign is an unrestricted South African issued license, but I am not currently based in South Africa at the present time. So he goes by Whiskey 4 Slant Zulu Sierra 6 India. He's on the west coast of Florida in the Tampa Bay area, right there in Brooksville. Also, equipment at the moment, look what he's already got. He's got the Yaesu FTDX10, the SP30 speaker, the FT5DR handheld, the Radio Waves hex beam up on an 80-foot Roan 25G tower. He's also got a Yaesu G800 DXA antenna rotator, the 0543 vertical antenna, Yaesu FP1030A power supply, the Ameritron ALS 1306 1200 watt amp, Heil PR781 mic, EQ Plus by W2IHY, 8-band audio equalizer, noise gate by the same person, W2IHY, and he's got the MFJ 998 auto tuner. Look at this beautiful picture. Isn't that gorgeous? That is Guy and his family. That's great. Z Sierra 6 India. That's great. And there's his best buddy right there. Guy, I want to thank you. It was a wonderful email. It was so well written, and I hope I helped you. I want to thank you for, watching the channel and your nice words about me as a person. I don't know if I earn all those things, but I thank you for being so kind to me and thinking so much of the channel. Guy, thank you. Z Sierra 6 India. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I want to welcome my dear friend who oftentimes works late, and he watches the channel, and he's in Holland. So Martin, just for you, we haven't done this in a while, I noticed. I had to find it out down the list, but here you go. Martin from Holland, working the night shift and watching the show.
I know you're not alone on the night shift.
I didn't forget you, buddy. Welcome to the show, Martin. It's great to have you here. Nice comment. I want to get back to this because we talked about the Jordan station, right? JY1, which was King Hussein of Jordan, who is a very avid ham. Could you imagine him today seeing the equipment that's made today? Can you imagine that feeling in his heart? Wow, it'd be amazing. Kevin of Ireland said JY1 was a great ham. He often used to say to some contacts that he would visit their home. He actually did that on a few occasions. That's a really nice comment. That really is. And speaking of JY1, here's something important. And Eamon has a good comment. And this was said last night as he was making calls too. He says, Jordan is rare because he won't let anyone apply for a license. He did say there's not very many HF people that are licensed in the country of Jordan. So it's very interesting you say that. True, yeah. Also, we do have somebody that's worked him. That is Kevin in Ireland. I have JY4CI in my logbook. Nice work, Kev. Why am I not surprised? You see, we have a great group that watches this channel. We really do, and I'm glad you're here today. I mean that. Thanks for coming. Missed you all yesterday. I'll miss you tomorrow, but we'll be back on Thursday. A little bit late because I got physical therapy again on my back, but I'll be coming back. We'll have a lot of fun on a show coming up on a Thursday. And Indy, old mate showing more patience than me. Juliet Sierra Bravo. Yeah, he's talking about the pileup. Yeah, and that was really crazy. To pull out somebody out of that mess is amazing. And Spike, I'm sorry I ran it so long, man. He says, Larry, how much more do we have to endure? I know. If you listened as it went on, it was real interesting because once Gray Line left him, the signal left me. I was done with it on my radio. And all of a sudden I started listening out of England because there was still a really good signal there. And it was just, I don't know. I really wish when people work DX that they would make the call one time, right? And let everybody have a chance because that's really the radio spirit. I think next show we'll talk about the amateur radio code because I think maybe we all need a little refresher course on that. And I thank you for coming, by the way, Spike. Thanks for coming from Montana today. I hope it's warmed up for you there. Andy New with good news. This is a good one. I like this. He says, had a nice QSO with some guys on the local 77 repeater last night from Devon and Cornwall. New friends made.
Tell me something good.
There you go. Andy, nice work. It's Tell Me Something Good Tuesday on Ham Radio Live. We're glad you're a part of today's show. Well, let's take a look at the Muppets upstairs, and we'll see if the Angry Hams have anything good to say about this show.
Don't tell me you like that trash.
Oh, my hand went to sleep.
Oh.
Of course, the angry hams. Of course, it's that way. Oh my goodness. Hey, guess what? The world's in the lead. The world is in the lead. Yes, they really are. Yeah, it's 130 to 120. First question, and this goes towards the world, okay? Good luck with you, and we're going to make it 5 and 5 from here on out. What is the maximum power UK amateurs can use on a foundation level license? Is it A, 10 watts, B, 50 watts, C, 400 watts, or D, 500 watts? Let us know, please, with A, B, C, or D. We'll let you know which country comes in first and gets the points. Good luck to you. Everybody here should know this answer. I got 2 softball questions on a Tuesday. No kidding. No kidding. And by the way, Charlie, it's really nice to have you here. I am so grateful you're here. He says, been working 11 hours straight with no break. You said I seat until things are fixed for server upgrades. Ugh. Sorry about that, Charlie. Sure is good to have you here, though. And Andy making us feel jealous there. You are, Andy. Alpha Zero Whiskey X-Ray. Nice sea breeze coming in from the east. Oh, man, does that sound nice? First one to come in with the answer on this question is Andy Cowley, 2 Echo 0 Romeo Echo Echo, my brother there in England. He says C, 400 watts, and that isn't it. Nope. Our trivia question champion, and he's a co-champion now because both Andy New and Adam from Ocala, Florida have the record of 3 in a row. Andy says A, it would be 10 watts. Andy is a foundation licensee, studying, though, to get his intermediate license, and he got that one right. Nice work, Andy. Yep, it is 10 watts. Now, maximum level for foundation is 10, and then you move up to 50 if you're an intermediate, and you get full for 100 if you got the full. That's how it works in England, yeah. Rob, November 7, Tango Tango Alpha, had A. Steve with C. And listen, nice words here. This is some Tell Me Something Good. This is from Rob in Michigan. I bought a Yaesu FTDM 300D. C4 FM is pretty cool. Tell me something good. Very good, Rob. Very good. Nice work, man. Andy had A, Whining with A, Steve with A. And then we got a weather report. It's not cold in Montana finally anymore. I'm glad to hear that, Spike. 85 today and got some popsicles. Doesn't that feel good? Dirk with C, Andy with B, Eamon with A, Cliff with A, and Dirk, oh, darn it, misread A. Steve, oh, missed the word foundation. That's okay. No! Don't worry about it. Kevin had it right. He knew, he said C, and then he flipped A real quick. Barry Wendon with C as well. Rodney from Holland, Papa Alpha 9 Romeo Whiskey. Something good. Saw my mother today for the first time in 2 years. Tell me something good. That's a comment of the show. That's a comment of the show. Yep. That's really big to me. That really is. Rodney, that's great. Yeah, 10 watts. That's the limit for foundation licensees in the UK. All right. And I told you I got 2 softball questions for you. Here's your second one. Get ready. What device can be used to match an antenna manually or automatically? Is it A, an SWR meter? Is it B, a dummy load?
What's up, Doc?
Yeah. Is it C, an antenna tuner, or is it D, a balun? Okay. What device could be used to match an antenna manually or automatically? An SWR meter, a dummy load, an antenna tuner, or a balun? Let me know with A, B, C, or D. First one in with the right answer for their content gets it right today and gets the points. Good luck. Kevin, because he went CA right away. He said, misread the question, realized in time, Larry. You sure did. You sure did. By the way, I'll let you listen while you're thinking on this one. Let me show you real quick. It's 10 meters. And it's 10 meters here in the Northwest. So again, 45th parallel. I keep an eye on 10 a lot during the day and starting to warm up.
Yes, I see the previous contact back from May of 2020, 17 meters. Yeah, you do a good signal here, particularly good signal. 57 of the last transmission. I'm pushing 600 watts into my X-beam antenna and the transceiver, the FTDX10, over.
So there you go. Let's listen. Let's see where we figure out where he's from. We'll keep the trivia question on, and we'll keep doing that in a second. But let's just figure out where he's from. Interesting. It's a 28430.
So thank you very much for the chisel. I hope we don't have to wait another 2 more years before we do another contact. Take care, Tony. All best wishes to you, and I'll send it back to you for your files. OE5UAL from Tango India to Juliet, Joe.
There's Tango India. Go get that DX, everybody. 10 meters. That is great to see 10 working. So believe me, it's coming your way. Later in the day, if you're Northern Hemisphere in the north, right, 45th parallel, you know, maybe go up as north as maybe 42, 41. So, you know, later in the day. But hang in there. It'll get open. All right, let's get that second trivia question back. What device can be used to match an antenna tuner manually or automatically? I love the easy ones because everybody jumps in right away and says, man, I can do this one. This one's easy. Okay. First one that came in, and this is funny because I got to go all the way up here. And first one, Andy knew. Mike 7, Charlie November. He got the first one right, and he got the second one right too, right there. Good job, Andrew. 2 for 2, Andy. You could tie your record tomorrow. I mean, on Thursday. You could either tie or you could go ahead of it. Yeah, it is an antenna tuner. Oh boy, I'm just waiting. Everyone's going to be doing C. Watch. Okay, Kevin and Ireland with C, Cliff with C, Dirk with C, Eamon with C, Andy with C, Rob with C, and a second C to make sure I got the first C right. Steve with C, Winan in Africa with C. Andy for some reason thought there was maybe an answer here that had an F in it. No! Sorry, Andy. Spike in Montana with C. Ron in Monroe, Washington had C. Jason with C. And by the way, Ron, welcome back. It's good to see you, buddy. And Indy, this is great. Indy says, E is the idiot operator.
Thank you.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, gosh. C from Barry Wendon. Steve, SWR meter can match antenna if you give the needle at 1-to-1. Exactly. Winan, something good. Got Macedonia as a new for me on 6 meters and almost Azores. Better luck with that one. I'll get the Azores shortly. That's still a good tell me something good, Winan. Tell me something good. And that's coming all the way from Africa. Pretty good. That's great stuff. Eamon, well done. Dirk in Wisconsin, he says something good. Another day closer to the landlord coming to clean up the storm damage. Not sure, just closer. Yeah, that's a good attitude. That's a good attitude. Because you think, well, you know, gosh, this stuff is not getting cleaned up. I want to get my radio antennas back up. I want to be okay. Get things going again. It's a mess. You know, on and on. Because the storm they had in Wisconsin. But he's looking at the bright side. And you know what, Dirk? Good on you, man. Good on you, mate. Good on you, mate. Well done. I want to welcome my brother Bob, courtesy WIFI. Welcome, Bob. Always a better show when you are here. And Andy, F equals funny. No! Yeah, great. Okay. All right, guys. Well, you know what? We've got to jump over real quick and check our Discord channel before we close this here show. And it's a fun Discord channel. I have a link to it that never expires right there in the description section of this video. I hope you enjoy it. This is going to be a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy this part because this is the time where we get to celebrate all of you guys. And for me, that's the best part of the whole show. I enjoy the time we get to spend together here. I really do. And for me personally, this is my favorite part of the show because we talk about you here. So let's take a look at this Discord. What pictures have been set up, and I hope you enjoy this.
I was toting my pack along.
First up, the other Mike, Kilo Golf 2 Mike 27-day space weather outlook table. You'll find this on our Discord channel going all the way through June 18th. Mike, thanks for that. Also, Scruffy out of beautiful Australia, Victor Kilo 5 sugar-coated radio showing his QTH. He's just a little bit west of Adelaide in Australia. There's a larger view. He says, mate, I'm on the ankle of the foot. I think he got that one absolutely right. It's pretty good. Here's a nice picture of where he lives. That's where Scruffy's from. Victor Kilo 5 sugar-coated radio in Australia. That's beautiful. Thanks for sending that, Scruff. Also, Mike, Kilo Golf 2 Mike, showing about some screen settings on the 7300. Very nice, Mike. Thanks for sending that. Dawn, beautiful. November 5 Sierra Kilo Tango. Take a look at that. Sun SDR2. That's an expensive rig. That's beautiful. And a beautiful Mercury Epson below it. I love your radio station, Dawn. Thank you. All right. And here's one from Graham, Victor Kilo 3, Golf Echo Kilo. It's getting hard to remember all your call signs, guys. There's his 7300. He's got a lot of radios sitting there. Take a look. Nice screen. He's got a nice microphone. Everything all tidy and clean. Wow, Graham. Nice looking shack, mate. Really nice looking shack. Here's Steve. You can do it. I know you can. Nice work. And Steve, I know you're studying for that intermediate license. You'll get there. Hang in there. Rodney does this sometimes. He'll chill on the channel on Discord, and he'll just work radio. It's a lot of fun. Some HFSSB on a Sunday. Thanks, Rodney, for sharing. Also, some QSL cards. Don, November 5th, Sierra Kilo Tango. That's good. Whiskey for Mike, the Moonshine Heritage Month. Franklin County, Virginia. Thank you for that. Also, he worked the FedEx Amateur Radio Contest. Also, Kilo Bravo 7, Mike November Hotel. Take a look at this. He worked the Barcelona Olympics back in '92. Wow. This is great stuff. Love that. Love the postmark, too. Look at the postmark on both these. Verified by Echo Alpha 3, Golf Charlie Victor. That is so cool, Don. Thanks for sharing that. And he says this one's his most treasured QSL. Commemorates his first Morse code contact. Don, beautiful stuff. That's great. Also, Steve, thinking about a virtual EQSL electronic frame. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Think about that, right? You get different EQSL cards, and then what you do is you'd have your electron, like those, photo frames, and it would just show all of your QSL cards. Steve, Mike 7, Indy Whiskey Hotel. I think that's a wonderful idea, mate. Seriously. That is a really good idea. Wow. And then also, I got to share this because this part's just, to me, this part's really important. So we got to get to the next segment here, and we're going to take you out to the ball game here. Yep, this in the U.S. is a very important song because it comes at baseball games. Jeff, on his way back from Dayton, stopped in Cincinnati, Ohio, to watch the Chicago Cubs play the Cincinnati Reds at the beautiful ballpark in Cincinnati. There's him and his lovely bride. Look at him decked out in Cubs gear. The Great American Ballpark where the Reds play. Look at how close they were to the field. There is what it looks like there at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. His lovely bride, and right there on the other side of the bridge is the ballpark. Jeff, nice shots here. Nice shots here. Oh, beautiful. Just beautiful.
Done it before. Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over. And the Cubs have finally won it all. 8-7-10.
I will never forget where I was November 2nd, 2016. I was on my knees at 10:02 p.m. Pacific crying my eyes out because the Cubs won the World Series. I got to show Jeff this because I know Jeff's here. This is my World Series hat. This is from the World Series. And what I did was just went over and had the autographs all stitched in from the team. And for me, that's a real possession that I love. And it sits here in the shack with me. I've never shown you guys that before. I'm a huge Cubs fan. And I felt bad that year for Cleveland because they, like Chicago, had been through so long of a World Series drought. They hadn't won in so many years as well. But Chicago had the record. 108 years, and they came back and they won. And it was the best Game 7 I think baseball has ever had in my lifetime. Phenomenal. And what's interesting is when you look at these pictures from Jeff and his wife, at Great American Ballpark. I grew up a Reds fan. I grew up watching the Big Red Machine, so I loved them. And then later on in life, when I saw WGN TV here in the U.S., because they were one of the first cable stations that broadcast stuff, and they'd always have the Cubs on during the day. It was a lot of fun for me. So for me, I became a Cub fan at that part. So, Jeff, thanks for sharing the stuff about the game. That I told my wife, it was funny, I came down the stairs, and after I set the show up before the PT appointment, and I said, honey, if we were to go to Dayton, what would be something you would want to do? Because we are very similar. Karen and I are very similar. And she said, I'd want to go see a baseball game in Cincinnati. No kidding. She did the same thing. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, that was fun. Jeff, hope you had a good time. That's the way to do a trip right there. That really is. All right, folks, we're going to close the show. Don't forget, I got a fun, this commercial at the end of the show is so brilliant. You'll love it. And it's radio related too. That's the best part. It's radio related. When I saw it, I thought of all of you and I thought, oh boy, they're going to love this commercial. Yeah, they really will. So I hope you enjoy it. Folks, my name is Larry. My call sign, ham radio, is Kilo 7 Hotel November. My hope is to help you to get an amateur radio, or maybe you had a license in the past, you let it lapse, right? But you want to renew it. Please do so, okay? You need to start somewhere, though. Like if you're new and you don't know how to get a license, contact someone like the Radio Society of Great Britain. They're really good people. One of the best radio clubs in the entire world. And I guarantee it, if you send them an email on their webpage, they're going to send you an amateur radio club that's close to you. Just let them know where you're located and you'd like to get your license. You can find them online at www.rsgb.org. Great mates there. Steve, I'm thinking of you, mate. Mike 1, Alpha Charlie Bravo, GM of the Radio Society of Great Britain, a good mate, a dear friend. Steve, good man. Good on you. Good day, sir. All right, from around the world, wherever you may be, I don't ever take this for granted. I told them to my wife today, I do this dumb YouTube show that has sound effects, my weird humor, and I try to organize it in a way that it's a radio show. And I have been so richly blessed by the amount of kind people that come to this channel and watch it that I try and do it almost every day. Thank you guys. If it wasn't for all of you, I wouldn't do this almost every day because it wouldn't be fun. Wherever you may be, God bless you. Thanks for watching Ham Radio Live. Until day after tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.
You're watching Oregon-owned Oregon's Fox.
Okay. I can't leave yet because when I see a comment come on like this, regards from ZL, that's a great thing to me and it means a lot. It really does. That's New Zealand. Frank, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for coming to Ham Radio Live today. It's my honor and privilege to meet you. I couldn't end the show without saying that. I hope you don't mind. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming from New Zealand. Man, Frank, you made my day. All right. Hope you enjoyed the funny commercial. It is radio related. Until day after tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.
Das hier ist mein Sektor. Das hier ist das wichtigste Gerät des Küstenwächters. Das Gerät und das Gerät. Überlebensradar.
Mayday, mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you... Over. We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?